Hi, what's good? Before I start this video, I appreciate that my hair looks some kind of way and I can't really do anything about it, and people always tell me, oh my god, your hair looks so nice, like when it's up, but honestly, if my hair's up in a video, it's nearly like 101% like gonna be really greasy and I can't have it down, I can't be bothered to wash it because I'm lazy, hashtag goals. The story that I'm going to be telling, I already told like a month or two ago, but that was back when I had like 30 subscribers and I got no views, and it got no views. And it's a really good story, so I deleted it and now I'm going to retell it. So if you've already seen it, hi, nice to see you, this is going to be sufficiently awkward, and if you haven't seen it, hi, what up? Like, I'm Kira and this is an original story by me. So this story started back in year 8, like this is where it happened. This is like the preface-y part that I'm going to give to you. I only recently learned how to say that word. My school and my house are pretty close. They're like 5 minutes away, like 5-minute drive from my house to my school. It's really close. However, when I was in year 8, me and my friends would always get the bus back to where we live, because the group of friends I would get the bus back with lived like in the area that I lived, like we all lived really close. For the most part, this bus ride was so much fun. We would love it. We would love walking down to the bus stop from school every day, getting on the bus and going home, walking back and just doing our things, just talking after like a stressful, hard day of work at school, you know? However, in my life, nothing can go right. I can't just have a nice thing, no. Some bitch, or myself honestly, always comes along and ruins it, squashes my fun bubble, and it's really annoying. So this guy, let's name him Bitchface, because bitch, decides that one day he's just gonna start making fun of us on the bus every single day just to impress his little gang of friends. This started off as just like, oh, boys being boys, you know, like, and we'd get on the bus and they'd like shout things at us and they'd pull our hair and they'd call us every single name you could think of, like everything. Most of the time we would just like try and ignore it, or we'd just have like laughable banter back and forth, I hate that word, and we'd just like, you know, like insult them back, you know, as we do, like we wasn't getting butthurt about it. But as the weeks went by, it got increasingly worse. We would dread getting on that bus every day. We would sit at the bus stop and look at the back of the bus, because they would sit at like the back elevated platform at the back, and we would look through the window and see if they were there, and if they were there we'd always get like dread in our stomachs and we'd try to stay near the front of the bus. But that's not always possible, because you get pushed further and further back the more and more people that go on. Like, we wanted to stay as far away from them as possible because this carried on every single day, and we have no idea like what happened. Like, we didn't provoke it. One day that this one boy, the rest of the boys were fine, but this one boy decides to get on the bus, and then all the other boys that were fine, obviously he kind of provoked them, and obviously they was trying to join in with him, and he was trying to probably impress them because, again, he is a bitch face and he has no friends to my knowledge. And it just like, it was really annoying, you know? It was like really unnecessary. It was really kind of hurtful after a while, because they would take it further than far. Like, they would call us fishy, stinky, sketty bitches, all of that. And if this gives you any validation for me doing what I did, he used to call my black friend Michael Jackson because she had like curly short hair. That's what she told me. So if that gives you any reason for me doing what I did, which I will tell you at the end of the story, he was kind of a racist too, so there you go. So I had some kind of history of this boy. I used to live next door to him when I lived with when we lived with my grandparents, like when I was slightly younger. We used to live next door to him, and he seemed fine. Like, I'd go in his house and turn on his like little PlayStation. It was like chill, like we were kind of friends. And then I hadn't seen him for like 10 years, and I see him and all of a sudden he decides that he wants to harass me. Like, yeah, like that makes sense. Like, it makes so much sense. Like, the logic in your brain is so good. Someone who's never done anything to you, just because you want to see cool in front of your friends, yeah, sure. Maybe he's trying to compensate for something else, you know, like something down there, you know, like, but I'm just putting it out there, like he probably is. I'm just shut up. And as like a little side story, I got into some like beef with like an older girl at my school because of this. Like, her brother was one of his like friends, like his little ally, you know, who would also pick on us. So one day getting off the bus, he was in front of me and I was so rage fueled that I just shoved him. Like, he was a big guy, if you know what I mean, like huge, and I was like that, like that and like that, and he was like this. So like, that's not gonna hurt. He didn't even go anywhere. He may have stumbled a little bit, but I wanted to hurt him, you know. He'd been harassing us for weeks and weeks on end, and he just sort of looked at me like, what are you doing? You know what he did? He got his older sister to come after me. One day he got off the bus and me and this girl, his older sister, we were like kind of chill, like we were kind of chill, and one day she says to me, "Don't talk to me, you touched my brother, you're dead to me." And I'm like, who do you think you are? I'm sorry? Your large, aggressive brother has seriously gotten his older sister to come and fight me? Like, she was on this bus too. Did she not see every day how they would harass us? I still don't like this bitch to this day. I see her wandering around every now and then and I look at her like, who are you? You stuck up ugly little tablecloth. Like, go back to your hole where you belong. And if your brother, who has been harassing me, had the balls to come up to me and say, "Oh, I'm sorry for harassing you," or like talking to me himself because he'd been harassing me. It's not like he didn't want to pick on a girl because he already was. Like, you know, like the logic, it just doesn't add up. Like, does not add up. It doesn't add up. Like, go to school some more because it just doesn't add up, you know? So at this point I wanted to fly kick the bitch in her face. I wanted to fly kick her brother in her face, and I wanted to fly kick bitch face in the face because I hated them all and they were making my life a misery. And I had done nothing wrong. I just existed. I just purely existed. So me and my friend's anger was boiling, and I'm one of those people, like, I can take something for a really long time, but eventually I'm just gonna snap. Like, I'm just gonna snap and I'm gonna go crazy and I'm just gonna rage. Like, I'm going to rage. Like, world star hip hop on you right now. So while we was on this bus one day, they were harassing us once again, shouting us, and mainly bitch face. He was the ringleader, was doing this, and so kind of retaliated a little bit, you know, kind of called them names back, because that's just like, we didn't want to sit there and let it happen anymore. It was really getting to us and nothing was happening. Also, the bus driver must have heard this and he did nothing. Great, good. You should have your job, shouldn't you? No. No, I give you a 1 star, what is it, a -1 star on Yelp for buses, you little bitch. I'm so angry. So it gets to our stop and we get off. And we walk away, we turn around and walk away, and bitchface gets off and waits for his friends to get off too. And then as he's waiting for his friends to get off, he says something to me. I think he calls us, like, he says, "Oh, you fishy bitch," or something, because that was the insult, like, fishy. Like, that was the insult of the time, like, "Oh, you're so fishy, like, you stink of fish," like, eh. I don't even think we knew how, like, that worked, but anyway, it was an overused insult, and I just snapped. I just snapped like that. I just snapped. And I turned around and I screamed something at him. I yelled something at him. I do not know what I said. I just went absolutely haywire. I went crazy. I went in full on gorilla Harambe, dicks out, bitch, fiery, flamethrower, fly kick, ninja zone, and I just went absolutely crazy at him. And there was this big iron fence behind him, and I shoved him back. And at this point, I completely blacked out. I blacked out from being so angry, but I remember just like swinging my arms so hard and it just hitting him in the face, and he was completely gobsmacked. He just didn't know what to do. He was just like sit there in shock for a second, and all of a sudden, because I was gonna go in for another one, I was past the point of caring what anyone thought anymore. I was done. I was ready to attack, and I probably would have beat him because I was so mad. You know when you get so mad, like, you feel like the Hulk, you feel so strong. Like, look at my muscles, like, I don't have any, but still. And then I feel my friends' arms around me, and a few of them are like pulling me away, like, "Whoa, Kira, what did you just do?" And everyone was like, "Whoa, whoa," and everyone was just like, "Ah!" And I was like, and I ran. I Usain bolted the hell out of there. And I could hear him screaming after me like, "You little bitch!" And his friends, bear in mind, were still on the back of this bus looking out the window. So they saw their ringleader get beat by a girl. And not that I think it's good to bully someone, but in this case, he got what he deserved. I made sure everyone knew. And the day after that, he was on the bus, none of his friends were there, he was on his own, and he was alone sometimes. His friends weren't always on the bus with him, sometimes it was just him, and if it was just him, he'd say nothing. And believe me, this day, dead silence, absolutely dead silence. He was like, say this was like, wait, let me get a pillow. Say this was like the chair, right? his head was down like this, like behind it, like that at the back, so you just couldn't see him, and it was the funniest thing in the world. And me and my friends decide, so we go up like onto the top steps where he was, and we all sit around him like, hey, like, hey, and just make the most fun out of him, and it was like the best feeling in the world. Revenge at its finest. So if some boy's picking on you, punch him in the face. I'm gonna go now. And remember, dicks out for Harambe.